Hey everyone, how you doing? Michael here. So just doing a quick video. I have work tomorrow, so I have been a little bit busy, but thought, let me do a couple quick videos. So I still have not done a video yet on the past weekend, but the Matchroom show. But listen, I'm an objective person. I give credit where credit is due. I thought the Matchroom show was a good card. Obviously Robbie Davies Jr. lost, so Robbie Davies Jr. is trained by Dominic Ingle. Yeah, he lost his fight to some Mexican guy. So who else was on the show? Oh yeah, the two main fights, you had Florian Marku. No, just somebody's dog distracting me. I'm not scared or anything, I like dogs. Yeah, the Marku fight. I thought the Marku fight was a very good fight. Florian Marku versus Ryland Charlton. So, Marku won. I mean, going on their form, obviously Marku did not do very well in his last fight, and Ryland Charlton obviously did quite well when he knocked out Joe Laws. But, obviously this is boxing, you have different levels, and, Marku just seemed to be a level above. But Charlton is still a good fighter. He can still continue his career after this. But I enjoyed it. That was a really good fight to watch. So, I give Matchroom credit. I give Eddie Hearn and, Mr. Bean credit. Like it was a decent card, decent fights. And obviously you had the main fight of the night, which was David Avanesian versus Josh Kelly, which I really loved that fight. That was a really good fight to watch. I mean, what can I say about Josh Kelly? I think the mistakes that he made, I think he was a little bit arrogant, showboating too much. I mean, he was fast. He started out fast, very fast jab. Physically, he is faster than Avanesian, but Avanesian just broke him down. Josh Kelly was bleeding a lot, and to me, I do not mean to be harsh or rude, and of course I will say it to Josh Kelly's face, but to me, I think Josh Kelly quit in that fight, because the first time he got dropped, he sort of went down willingly. You could have tried harder. I'll say it to his face. I don't mean it in a rude way. I'm not someone who's harsh on fighters. I think Adam Booth stopping the fight, he stopped it at the right time. But the issue with Josh Kelly, I think for you to be willing to, to me, he didn't want it enough. He just sort of had enough. I'm talking about the first sort of knockdown when he just sort of went down willingly. It looks as if he just dropped to his knees. It's like that shows a mental weakness, where a lot of these fighters, when they get hit back, not necessarily a lot of them, but some of them, they might not necessarily be able to take it. Speaking for me, as an example, the way I spar people, I will describe myself. I think I got very fast feet. I got good hand speed. Sometimes I might spar certain people. I might come out. I might dominate the round, and I might be winning the first round. I might dominate it using speeds, which I have done plenty of times. I remember I sparred a white collar guy once, and he could fight. He was a tough guy, but I had speeds. I had the speed advantage. So I was boxing him. It was a sparring session, but I was using my speed to dominate him. But then after a while, this guy started coming back, and this guy was very aggressive. So I thought, all right, I hit him with my hardest shots, but this guy was tough. And I just thought, it's not that easy anymore. Now with me, I think I'm pretty tough, as in I'll stay in there. But I haven't really had fights. Obviously, I haven't fought in years, so maybe I shouldn't have used myself. I forget using myself as an example. Maybe I shouldn't. But what's a good example in a fight? I'm trying to think of a fight. I'd say something like George Foreman. George Foreman was knocking everybody out, but when he took on Muhammad Ali, it becomes a lot more difficult when the guy can actually take your best punches and hit you back. Or people like Nassim Hamed and Mike Tyson, these guys were... I mean, Nassim Hamed, after he lost to Barrera, he just gave up on boxing. He had one more fight, which he won, and then he just gave up. And I don't want to hear this stuff about he had hand problems, because it's all you got hand problems, but when you're winning you don't have hand problems. But then when you lose, you use hand problems as an excuse. I mean, he did well in the Barrera fight, but he lost fair and square, so not everyone can continue. And I think sometimes the thing with boxing, what people don't get, you've got to be able to fight. It's not about having a celebrity trainer. So especially someone like Adam Booth. Well, I mean, look, Adam Booth's a decent trainer, but I think he's very overrated. if you look at his two greatest fighters, David Haye and George Groves, these are both very athletic and heavy-handed fighters. They both have fast twitch muscle, they have fast legs, fast feet, fast hands, explosive, they hit hard, heavy-handed. And when you've got that amount of natural talent, which Haye and Groves definitely have, most of the work's already done. So I think Adam Booth's actually an overrated trainer, because all this, all this stuff that people say, Ultra Tech and Porky, Russell Hartley, Porky's Corner, you know how a lot of people say, like whenever a British fighter loses a fight, people say, go to Adam Booth, he's the best. Yeah, but you can't just jump from trainer to trainer, but there's only so much a trainer can do. And say you go to Adam Booth, he can't turn you into David Haye, because David Haye's amateur record, look what David Haye was doing as an amateur. This guy was fighting at European level. He got a silver medal in, I forget which contest it was, European Championships or something. David Haye as an amateur was knocking people out. Most amateurs can't do that. So if you haven't got that natural size, power, explosiveness, speed, a trainer can't give it to you. All they can do, they can enhance what is already there, but they can't create something out of nothing. They can't give you the magic formula. So I think Adam Booth's a decent trainer, but he's very overrated. And I'm not blaming Booth, but a lot of fighters in boxing, especially Amir Khan, whenever he loses, he goes from trainer to trainer. But I'll say it to his face, like the thing with Khan, he can't take a punch that well. So if I was Khan, you need to work on defense, but his punch resistance isn't the great. Maybe move down the division, work on your defense, work on your ring IQ, stay in shape year round. Because I know for a fact, I've seen Khan up close. I've been to his gym before on more than one occasion. He's not someone that lives the life year round. I know that for a fact. You don't have to take my word for it. I remember there was a photo once. I'm not saying I don't really look at fighters' personal lives, but I remember there's some sort of photo on Twitter where I think it was the Sun newspaper or one of these stupid tabloids, but Amir Khan was walking along the beach, and it's like he had his shirt off, and he had, like, you could see he's not in shape, that he looked physically soft. So as an example, maybe if you lived the life, you could become, if you dedicate yourself to boxing 100% instead of 89% or 99 or 92%, maybe he wouldn't get knocked out so often. But that's just my advice to fighters. Sometimes you gotta accept not everyone's gonna make it to the top. Not everyone's got what it takes. So I just think some trainers, especially Adam Booth's the most obvious example, but just going to a certain trainer, it doesn't mean they can do with you what they've done with other fighters before. Because do you have what it takes? Not everyone does. All fighters are unique. All people are unique. And like I say, especially when I use the David Haye and George Groves example, these guys are phenomenal punchers. Most fighters, David Haye and George Groves, you got to put them in the 1% of punchers. Like, they are on the top end of punching power. And so the thing is, if you can't punch that hard, even if you go to Adam Booth, what can he can't turn you into David Haye. He hasn't done anything with Josh Kelly. He didn't do anything with Shannon Courtney. What's the name of the one that retired? Ryan Burnett. Same with him. Like, he couldn't do anything with him, because Josh Kelly can't punch, Ryan Burnett can't punch, Shannon Courtney can't punch hard. So there's nothing much that Booth can do for them. So you got to be careful. I think as a fighter, you got to be able to, I'll do more research on this. I don't know if I want to interview fighters, but I don't mind doing documentaries this year. But I might do more research. But a lot of fighters, sometimes you yourself, you just haven't got what it takes. Go back to the drawing boards. Work on things, develop your power. But I believe naturally there's only so much power you can develop. But again, I'll do more research into it, but from what I've read, from what I've studied, and from what a lot of trainers and fighters have said, a lot of fighters, you naturally have a certain amount of power. So people can enhance your power, but they can't turn you into the next Mike Tyson. Like, if you can't punch, then they can enhance it, they can make you a better puncher, but there's only so far you're going to get. But you need to have the natural talent to start with. Because a lot of fighters that I've seen, like Lomachenko, Rigondeaux, or I can go on and on. I can go on and on and on. like, a lot of fighters, you have to have a certain amount of natural talent. You know, so jumping from trainer to trainer or copying the Mayweather pads, you know, it's not really going to do that much. If you can't punch, and you know. But I've said enough for today. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.